Good evening, everyone. My name is Toru Minegishi, a graduate student at the Associated Canadian Theological Schools of Trinity Western University. And right now I'm on campus together with my old friend Travis. Travis is studying at the Masters of Divinity program in Concordia Seminary, Concordia Theological Seminary, to in order to make preparation for working in the Lutheran Church in Canada. And he came back to Trinity Western University for the first time in a year, and he enjoyed kind of campus tour for approximately 1 hour and walking around all over the campus, and pretty much he might have been pretty much surprised the great remarkable change of the campus. And a couple of new buildings were established, were built for the past couple of years, after you had graduated from Trinity, right? And you studied in the Concordia Seminary. What was the highlight of your learning experience at Concordia?
Um, Concordia Lutheran Seminary is committed to a much higher and a much more rigorous standard of learning than the average religious institution. It exposes prospective ministers and other theologically minded servants of the church to the full gamut of disciplines in theology: exegesis, textual criticism, but also the more practical sides as well, such as ministering across culture and within culture, and pastoral theology, systematic theology, the development of various Christian thought over the past 2,000 years, with a proper respect for the church as a confessing organization committed to the core teachings that were left behind by the apostles and Jesus Christ. It's a very complicated affair, but very rewarding.
It's understandable because your seminary is affiliated to the Lutheran Church in Canada, and especially when it comes to your program, that is a program for educating an ordained minister of Lutheran Church in Canada.
Yes.
So probably the expectation is much higher than the program that I'm currently taking. Registering, MA, Masters of Arts in Christian Studies. That is more, I don't want to say casual, but less formal than your program. So probably it's way more rigorous, and also you need to study not only the theology, but also a variety of things relating to the contemporary Christian mission, especially how we communicate the gospel of Jesus Christ revealed in the Bible effectively in culturally relevant and appropriate manner, especially in the context of kind of multicultural, multi-ethnic society in this contemporary Canadian society that is quite postmodern. So that's why it might be quite demanding and challenging. But I think you need to focus, particularly focusing on you need to particularly focus on the Bible and critically think about many variety of disciplines from the biblical perspective.
Exactly.
Yes. What's your favorite class that you had taken in the seminary for the past couple of years? What's your best course that you had fully enjoyed?
The classes I found most engaging involve, of course, the cores of the scriptural canon being in the Old Testament, the Pentateuch, the books of Moses. I drew a lot of lessons from that, looking at the way God spoke to people and the way he divinized their terms and their culture to a large extent, the ancient Jewish, or rather Israelite culture at the Exodus from Egypt. God incarnating himself within that society and prescribing his laws for them. And then the gospel, essentially a similar approach when God incarnated himself not only in the cultural mosaic that was the Roman Empire of the ancient world, but also literally incarnated in the person of Jesus Christ, and divinizing words and language and speech and all human action and all human experience by Jesus Christ, by his remarkable life on earth and his teachings and his work of redemption for humanity. So looking at the ways God, again, redeemed culture, redeemed language, redeemed the human experience in those corpora of literature that on the surface appear vastly different, but show God being consistent in his approach to humanity. And again, engaging cultures that are vastly different from my own. Myself growing up in a postmodern Canadian 21st century milieu, the biblical worldview has many challenges for the way we think now, and it's humbling to realize just what it has to offer us.
It's understandable that the culture of the biblical culture in which the Bible was written was pretty much different from contemporary postmodern Canadian culture. So we need to understand the historical and cultural background of the Bible. I mean, the kind of historical context in which the Bible was written over more than 2,000 years ago. And also, it seems like it is quite important for us to always think about how God incarnated himself and revealed his likeness through a variety of authors in the Bible, beginning from Moses to and variety of Hebrew prophets, and also many apostles in the New Testament. But still, there is, in spite of the diversity, there is a unity in terms of the arrival of the Messiah and his God's wish for saving his people through the sacrificial death and resurrection and redemptive work of Jesus Christ. So, well, we usually use the word incarnation for describing the birth of Jesus Christ. I mean, he was born from the Virgin Mary, but the word can be applied to the formation of the biblical canon, because that was created, that was written through the invisible divine inspiration from Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit and the divine energy was at work when every single author in the Bible wrote 66 books of the Bible. That was quite important for us to understand and interpret the Bible. Yeah, that's great. And what's your plan after you complete your program? I remember you said you are thinking about working for the Bible translation.
Yes, it's
so you need
Bible translation or cross-cultural ministry, but parish ministry certainly is in the future.
That's great. So you will be able to do a variety of. Okay.
So I'll leave it to you for the next minute or so.